Also a great delight to see these two. So we are looking forward to your service today. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So without further ado, I'd invite
Geoff.
Thank you. You need name badges. I'm so sorry. Geoff, for the opening prayer. Thank you, sir.
Let us be still, and within the silence, let us sit within the power of the Spirit. Divine and creative Spirit, whom we call our Father God, we come to you this morning in love, in sincerity and humility, offering ourselves to you in service. For we live in a world at this moment that seems to have lost its way, where man thinks more of greed for power and control than living in a spiritual world, where he can share the love given to us from that great power that we call God with all he comes in contact with, spreading that love to make a better world for all to live in. Instead of living in a world where there are wars, where man seems to want to control his fellow human being, all in the power, all for power. And so we ask that man may learn through God's laws of love and light and power to stop wanting to control his fellow human being, but to share that love that has been given to each and every one of us from that power that we call God with all they come in contact with. We think, of course, of the young generation in our world today and ask that they will lean more to the religious side of their being instead of the physical, so that they may learn that life is for a purpose here upon this earth plane and that life is indeed eternal. We think of the animal kingdom, part of your great creation, and yet man is taking away the habitat of the wild animals. May they learn that the animals are part of your great creation, and treat them with the love and respect that they deserve. And now we invite into our presence those of our loved ones, families and friends, inspirers, to join us for this short time of our service this morning, asking that everything that is said and done will be of the very highest and best, and to the honour and the glory of thy name, which is eternal love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And now, if you care to, please join in with saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not when in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. And we now bring our hearts, our minds, our thoughts, our very intent towards that art and gift of healing. Healing is not something that we have to be trained to do. Healing is known by another name, and that is love. So during this time, we'd invite you to send out that love to wherever, whoever you are drawn to. And never forget too to ask for healing for yourself. For so often we give of ourselves and never think to ask for ourselves. We also invite you during this time, if there is anybody in particular whose name you would like to be held out to those ministering angels and divine guides, simply raise your arm. And when I point to you, just simply call out their name. The intelligence of spirit knows what is needed and will act accordingly. So just enjoy these few minutes of quiet, reflective meditation and exercising that divine thread which runs through everybody and everything, and work in that essence and energy of love.
John West.
Anthony and Anne-Marie. Divine and eternal Spirit, we give thanks for this reminder this day that we are all healers. We are all able to work within that vibration of love, wherever and whenever there is a need. We need not be in your temples or your houses. We can disseminate this healing in the streets, in the shops, on a bus, or in the park. Wherever we are connected, that love can flow. Amen.
Amen.
Now I'd like to hand over to you, gentlemen, for the reading followed by your address. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wonderful to be back here. Seems like ages, but it's not. But it's always wonderful to serve this beautiful church. And to see some old friends as well. Lovely. Al yesterday spent some time and was inspired to write this reading that I'm going to give to you, and it's entitled, Why Are We Here? Silver Birch, one of the greatest spiritual healers, tells us that our purpose in this life is to do a job. A job is to work towards putting into practice God's natural law, which governs everything on this planet and throughout the universe. This law is unalterable, and that's God is law. Religion is one word, is service, and our purpose should be to make an end to war, abolish poverty, and to hasten the time when God's bounty will spread amongst all peoples of this world. Such a task to accomplish when so much in this world is against everything that we desire. Today's world differs from that what we have all witnessed growing up. But that doesn't mean that things were perfect then. We all have progressed from one time in our lives to another. Each one, hopefully, will have given us a better understanding of what we need to do to make this planet a better place for all humankind. So where are we going wrong? We ask ourselves. Today we live in a world where technology has taken us forward to great heights, and yet there are those who use the knowledge to control others. We have children who are being groomed to do things that will be harmful to themselves and others. Older people being promised great wealth through unscrupulous people who only want their bank details, etc., to steal their hard-earned money from them. The job that they originally came to do has been compromised by greed and the need to be recognized by all as great. What happened to service? And what has happened to man's allegiance to the great creative power that we call God? So many people have lost their way in life and need to find the light of truth within themselves. This world is not a perfect place, but we can all improve the lot of mankind by understanding that God's natural laws cannot be tampered with, for they are the same yesterday, today, forever, unchangeable. In order to refine the soul, we must first refine our way of life by exercising our ability to spread God's love in every way, including difficult circumstances that we encounter every day of our lives. God's love is constant, and that very love is within you and I, ready to give it expression. We need no religious book or creed to tell us how to reach God, just knowing that our allegiance to God, the great Spirit of life, and to his eternal natural laws will help us to create the right direction for us to help the soul when it is ready for the next task in life, the task to reach the level of consciousness which we will fulfill each and every one of us when we leave this life. You are in the Great Spirit, says Silver Birch, and the Great Spirit is within you. And so we learn that God is in everything, in nature itself, and that there is an unalterable law which governs everything, and that God is the law. Here's Al.
Well, it's a good morning from me, friends. My goodness, nice to see you all coming out in this cold weather. Rather pleased about that. I'd just like to say, that is a question that many of us have asked, not only once, but many, many times. Why am I here? What is my purpose in this life? And of course, it appears that many people have lost their way in this life. We were brought up in the Christian church. And I always appreciate that, though I don't belong to it at this time. I appreciate the basis that it gave me and my brother to find our way through life. It seems today that church is a thing of the past for many people, and that we get bigger crowds at football matches than we do in churches, which is such a great pity. For if we came here, as we do, into a church like this where we can gain such spiritual knowledge, it is going to enhance the reason why we came to this earth plane. Because as Silver Birch says, we came to do a job. We came to face a task. And we knew before we came here what that task was going to be. However, I sometimes think that it's a good job that we don't really remember everything that we made promises to keep to before we came to this earth plane. Otherwise, we might have changed our mind. But you see, life is never easy. It wasn't promised to be easy. We would never learn anything if everything was wonderful and beautiful and joyful. And it's through the most difficult times in our lives when we tend to think, why me? Why am I suffering in this way? That we actually learn the most. And we're here actually to refine the soul. That is the sole purpose of our visit to this earth plane, to refine the soul, the very being that we are, so that we prepare the soul for when we move into that next phase of life, that we are ready for that new task to begin. It's not an easy thing to do, because we have so many temptations in life on this earth plane. And there's not one of us that can say that we've had a really wonderful life all the way through. We've not had any problems, any difficulties, because this plane wasn't meant to be that way. It was meant to teach us lessons that we otherwise would not have on another dimension of life. And so by accepting even the difficulties in life, which is hard to do, we're going to prepare ourselves to take that step forward on our pathway through this life, preparing for the next stage. You know, I've had so many people say to us, I can't wait to go to the spirit world, to be sitting in my garden, everything is going to be beautiful. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but for me, and this is my opinion, the spirit world is not up there in the sky. The spirit world is all around us. We are surrounded by the spirit world. Just it vibrates on a much higher level. And we're going to be exactly as we are in this life when we move to that next phase of life. We're not changing. We're not going to sprout wings and have a halo. We're going to be exactly the same. You see, that what we've earned on this life, we're going to take forward to that next phase of life. We're not going to be all goody-goody when we move over there, because we still are on a learning process. We're still going to have to move forward and learn in that next phase of life in the etheric world. Now, nothing's going to be handed to us on a platter. It's up to us. We have to earn that. And that's what we're trying to do now in this life, is to earn that place that we will arrive at in the next phase of life when each and every one of us leave this earth plane. And there's nothing more certain that we will at some time. Some of us may be earlier than others, but there you go. At 39, I don't really think about it much, but you see, we see so many people now in our world, and when we turn the television on, all we're faced with is doom and gloom. I'm getting to the point I can't bear looking at the news. There's no channel that just pushes forward joy and happiness. It's all doom and gloom, and it brings everybody down. And yet, you see, we can turn over to another channel, can't we? We can watch those beautiful programs by David Attenborough and see what nature really has for us, what that divine essence that you and I call God has given to us, free of charge. And yet what do? As Geoff said, we cut down their habitat, because then they want to grow more food to feel the abundance of people that are coming into our world. And yet we're allowing the animals to suffer. And it shouldn't be. God created everything equal. We're no better than the animals in the field, and yet I sometimes think some people are a lot worse than them. I mean, you look at the love that a dog gives to us. Oh my goodness. If only we can return that in the same way. You know, we might shout at it a bit for if it's a bit naughty, but it comes back with its little tail wagging and it's showing love all the time. Can we do that? We have an argument with somebody and it's, I'll never speak to him again, or I'll never speak to her again. Why not? We must look to see the good in everybody. For within even the worst person is that divine essence of God, that goodness that is there. But we have to sometimes search for it. Sometimes it's hard to find, but it's there. And if you and I make that effort, and we stop just asking, why are we here, but accepting the fact that we are here, that we chose to be here, I think we can see life in a different way. God didn't say, I'm going to make everything perfect for you. He said, I'll meet you halfway, but you've got to make an effort too. Well, that's a lesson to learn, isn't it, in itself? We have to make the effort. It's not going to be put on a plate for us. And so it's down to us. When we get to that next phase of life, the next stage, Andrew Jackson Davis, who was wonderful, was entranced and in that state of altered consciousness. It was written down, everything that he said. And he said that we are here for a purpose and that we must learn to accept people, all people, for what they are and never judge. Jesus said, judge not, lest ye be judged. And isn't that true? Because when we judge, it's going to come and revert back to us. So let us not question why we're here, but what we can do whilst we're here. What we can do that makes life more bearable, more happy for everyone that we come into contact with. Because it's in giving out love that we receive love in return. It always comes back to us, folks. Always. So it's just a few things to think on. Because, we all need to have that few moments where we can stop and count our blessings. Because we have so many in life, and sometimes they merely pass us by. So let us think about reaching out and touching those who are less fortunate than ourselves. And bringing back that power, that energy which is within each and every one of us. We're all part of that God force. And bring it back and try to make our world, because at the moment it's our world. In coming here we were given the responsibility to look after it. What's happened? We have to find that answer within ourselves and then try to reach out and help all of mankind. So I thank you for listening. I hope I haven't bored you. And once again, thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you, gentlemen, and apologies for disappearing for a moment. It was not the content. Absolutely all right. Thank you. We now move on to our hymn, our song for today. If you wish to sing along, please do. If not, just sit and listen to the words. During this time, Sue will be taking the collection for the further work of this your church. Thank you.
Lord of my heart,
demonstrators are all unique, and we celebrate that uniqueness within our movement and philosophy of spiritualism. Today, these two wonderful gentlemen would like a little piece of music before we work on the evidential mediumship. So we will just sit back and listen to this piece of music, wait 45 minutes while I work out how to get a CD in the player, and then we will continue. See, I wasn't joking. Talk amongst yourselves. Feel free. Now you know why I gave up my job as a DJ.
People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. Where children needing other children, and yet letting a grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children. Very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you will have now your home. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you will have now your home. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the
world. Wonderful. I like my version, people who need cats. And before I hand over to these two wonderful gentlemen for their demonstration of evidential mediumship, please remember, this is a three-way communication. This is from Spirit, through Spirit, to Spirit. And that requires us to be part of that conversation. So we like a nice, clear response with a yes, a no, or a maybe, or not sure. So it's a
Yes.
no,
Maybe.
crack
Thank
it. Gentlemen.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that piece of music because there's a great meaning in that for the service this morning, talking about people who need people, and we all need and love one another. Right, I'm coming to you, my darling. Hello, yes. Whilst that lovely piece of music was playing, I have a lovely lady with me. I feel very much at this moment, she hasn't told me who she is yet, but I'm sensing her, and I feel I could be on a motherly vibration with this lady. I'm sensing that she's somewhere around my height. I'm not sensing she's up here somewhere. And nicely built in the build of body, not an extra large lady, but nicely covered, if you understand me. A lady who I feel has a nice skin, a nice complexion, and I feel very much with this lady, darling, I'm nobody's fool, so don't try to get one over on me, if you understand. But at the same time, I have a great love for my family, if you understand. A lady who I feel quite a private lady in some ways, because I don't want to tell everybody here my business, you understand. Family, yes, but you didn't want to, not like some neighbours, you know, that would tell the world their business. Not this lady, but a great deal of caring for the family I feel with this lady, darling. I feel very much towards the latter part of her life. I'm not sensing at this moment that she went down, that she lay on a bed of sickness for a long period of time. I feel she went down rather slowly, but then faded away nicely to the world of spirit. Do you understand that, darling? Yes, okay. As our lovely chairperson said, Lawrence, you're so lucky to have him. Really are. No's don't bother me because I will go and ask them, you know, to put it a different way. I don't know who it is around you that's suffering with the lower part of the back, darling. Do you understand? Because when they do that to me, I know that's what they're trying to tell me, you know. And I just want to say that they're aware of this. And I don't know if you've been having healing, but you're getting healing from... It's you, I know it's you, isn't it? Yes. That you're having healing from the world of spirit anyway. And it would be good if you got some extra healing as well. But they're just saying, be careful, please, how you start lifting heavy things, will you? Shopping and things, you know. Just be careful how you bend, try to let the knees go down. But they're conscious of it, you know. Now, just a moment, darling. I've got a gentleman coming in to me, pulling my shoulders back a little bit, and I feel somewhere around my height. He might be a little taller because I'm not seeing him, but I know a gentleman who in his life was a hard worker, and a gentleman I feel very much I'm on a close family link with this gentleman, darling. A gentleman who I feel... I don't feel a large gentleman with him, but I feel he had enough meat on him, you know, to be comfortable. And I don't know whether this was him with sort of what I call a slight bay window, you know. But I've got a nice gentleman with this gentleman. Oh, he said, don't make me out to be too good, you know, because I could be strict at times if I had to be. Do you understand? He said, I only did it if I felt it was right, you know, because he wanted the best for his family, you see. I feel I could be on a fatherly link with this gentleman. Do you understand me? Say no to me.
Yes.
Yes, you're okay, yeah. Because that's the sense he's giving me. There's a lot of energy and love coming to you, John, because your dad saying to me, you felt like you could have done with a little bit of extra energy recently. Do you understand? But, you know, he's not too bothered about your health condition at this moment. He's not trying to say it's 100% perfect, but he's saying that he's not too worried about it at the moment. That's nice to know, isn't it? George, I've just heard the name of George in my ear. I'm not saying it's his name, but there must be in the world of spirit, I feel going back a little while, the name of George, darling. Say no to me, I don't care.
There is a George.
There is a George, thank you. I love it when they say no. Because I trust spirit really wholeheartedly. I know if they give me something, it's got to be right. And I've just heard the name of Albert or Bert. Albert or Bert. But I feel I'm going back quite a long time for that. Yes. And there's a grandfather in the world of spirit, darling, on your, come on, where are your mothers and fathers? Father's side of the family. I want to bring some vegetables into you, darling. He must have liked his garden, because he said, I'm not going to bring you a bunch of flowers, darling. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to bring you some vegetables in a little wheelbarrow, because he said, they'll do you an awful lot more good than the flowers will. Okay, so he wants you to have them with his love. And also, darling, just a moment, what? Now that's an unusual name. I've just heard a name you don't hear of much now, Agnes. Agnes, you're going to have to think of that one. Agnes. I'm going back a long time. Just hang on to it, will you? Just hang on to it, because it's going back a long, long time. Oh, and they keep giving me old names. I know he goes mad with me. Violet or Vi as well, going back a long time. You must have known somebody that liked those little flowers, violets, you know, those purple. Used to have them on a windowsill in little pots. And I feel I'm going back to a grandmother era with that. I know I'm going back a long time with it. Just hang on to it if you don't know, because I know if they give me it, I've got to give you it. Now, my darling, just what do you want me to say? Somebody's, I'm just seeing a lot of cats running around. There's somebody around you that likes, very fond of cats, darling. I don't feel it's necessary. I'm not sure if it's you. It is. Oh. Because I just saw them running around. I didn't see them, I sensed them, you know. And lots of different colours and things, you know, and they're just coming to Mammy to say, we're still around, very much around you, you know. Darling, there must be some jewellery belonging to Mum in the world of spirit. And I don't feel Mum wore a lot of jewellery. But what she had, she liked. But there must be some either you have it or someone here has something belonging to your mum, some jewellery belonging to Mum. Okay, as long as you understand that, darling. Also, now, and I know the gentleman just took me to a watch. There must be the whereabouts of a gentleman's watch from the world of spirit that either you have, because when they do that to me, I know that's what they mean. You understand that? That's lovely. I just want to surround you, and I want to try and get around as many as we can. I want to surround you with so much love. Can I ask, as a young lady with you, I don't like asking questions. You're connected? Yes. Okay, because I just know that the energy went over to you there, you see. And they just want to send love, not only to the lady, but to you as well. And there must be 2 more people in the family they want to send love to, darling. Do you understand? They're just saying 2 more people they want to send some of the love to. Okay, darling. I just want to give you big hugs from the world of spirit, those in the world of spirit. And they're never far away from you. Never far away from you. There's somebody else coming in, another gentleman coming in as well. Come on, tell me who you are. There's another gentleman trying to come in, and he's not coming in very strong with me. But there must be a close link with another gentleman with you, darling. Yes, because he wants to send love to you. Okay? And there must... I don't feel I've been gone all that long. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why he's not coming through as strong, darling, as he will do, you know. But he says, come on. Dry them up. I don't want to see them, he said. I want to see you smiling like I've always seen you smiling. And my love's just as strong for you today. My love's just as strong for you today as it ever was and always will be. So don't please think that you've lost me. Okay? Because you haven't. If you haven't already sensed him around in your home, darling, you will. Because he said, you have, that's good. He said, I'm very, very much around you. And always will be until the time when we're back together. But I'm sorry, it's not for a little while yet, I'm afraid. But he said, never mind, you haven't lost them. Still very with you. Love from him and from all the family. God bless you.
Oh, I thought he'd never finish.
Haven't started yet.
I don't usually like going to people that I know, but I've got to go where I'm directed, and I've got to come to you, Sue. Because I've had your mother coming, she's like pushing me out of the way, I'm coming through. Don't you stop me, you know. And I know a little bit about Sue, but I don't know everything about your life. And I just know that your mum was full of life, you know, and such a lovely lady. And she just wanted to come through to you today. But I've also got your dad here as well, darling. So now Dad's still with us, but I'll tell you why he's here. Because he's just, don't pick this up the wrong way, I'm not saying he's going. He's just wanted to pull close. His energy has pulled close to your mum. Because that, you know, that can happen. His energy's just pulled close to her. And he's just saying, oh, I've missed her for such a long time. Because, you know, it's such, and she says, well, I've missed him as well. I've missed his nonsense, she said. Because she used to say, I used to say, oh, for goodness sake, give over, you know, because I know her dad, and he's full of fun, such a lovely man. But she's just coming through with such love. Whilst I'm sitting down here, you might have noticed me shaking at times. And I've had somebody come through to me. You must have known somebody who suffered with Parkinson's disease.
No, but the shaking makes sense.
The shaking makes sense because I couldn't stop my arm from shaking. And my head was going as well. And I thought, what are you doing to me? You know, if you can take it, I put it was Parkinson's. But if it's not, as long as you can take the shaking, because I thought, what on earth is it, you know? And I tell you what, your mum is sending so much love to the kids. I mean, kids, growing up. But she said they're still kids to me. And she says that your son is doing so much better now because of the encouragement that he's had from both you and Ian. Now, she's saying that because she said there was a time when you thought, what's happening? And, you know, I'm not saying that you gave up, but you thought, what can I do? But she said she's thanking you for the encouragement because it was needed. Now, she's not going to tell me what it was or anybody else what it was, but she just said, thank you very much, because he's now in a place which is a much happier place and a much better place, because he's very sensitive, she said. And she said he hurts very easily. And she says, you know, as he's growing now, you know, he'll be able to temper that a little bit as he gets older. But he can still be a little bit touchy, you know, at times, but he's definitely getting better with it. And she's very pleased about that, because she said, I've tried hard enough from my end, she said. But, you know, it's easier, she said, when you're there right next to him. And, of course, she's going to send love to both of them, Lauren, you know, and her family, because she's so happy for her. Oh, can I say that? She said to me, does she sing now, or is she giving it up? Well, oh, well, she says, oh, I miss that side. She said, I miss that side. But then that's only my opinion, you know, for what it's worth. Darling, I know what, I remember your mum, although I only met her a few times, and I know she was cuddly, you know, but she's just saying to me, the more you move through life, I have to be careful what I say, you see, the more you're getting like me, she says. And she says, you even say to yourself, God, I'm saying the things that my mother said. She said, oh no, she said, don't be ashamed, she said. But it's lovely. It's lovely, you know, she just knows everything that's going on. And I know that, you see, I know that you like dogs. But I've seen cats, and I don't know if there was cats around you at one time, because your mum seems to have brought in a cat, and it's a black and white one, darling. Yeah, okay. Because she just gave me that feeling she wanted to bring it in with her, you know. Oh, right. She just pointed to my eyes, and I don't know if you or Ian have had an appointment with your eyes or need a one. You do one. Because she just pointed to my eyes and she said, these are very precious. And, you know, it's best to go because not just that she's saying anything's going to happen, but she just said, always look after these because they're precious. I heard the name, hang on, say that again. I heard the name of Bill or Billy called out. Now, it would be William, wouldn't it? And I don't feel I'm on family with this. I feel it's, you know, I feel I'm with Ian with the name of Bill. Can you place me Bill? If you can't, just hang on to it, because often, half an hour later, you know, you think, oh, I've got them, you know, because how can we remember everybody in our lives? Be a medium stream if you could. But he's just called out, it's Billy. He said, sometimes people call me Billy, but I feel it was a workmate.
Oh, yes, I know exactly.
Right, because I know you won't let go until you recognise him, but I feel he was a bit of a character. Right, so he said, no, I haven't changed. Down to earth man, but character. And he just wants to be remembered too, because he said, you know, we did have a few laughs and a few, you know, arm bendings a little bit at times, you know, but he said that was all part of the work. So he just wants to be remembered to you. Oh, somebody around you is suffering with their tummy at the moment. Right, because I know I almost feel a bit bloated, you know, like, oh, God. And, you know, I sat down there and I wanted to be sick. And I started saying, take it away, because I don't want it. Anyway, it's been seen to, I'm sure. Yeah, okay. And she's not sending anything bad about that. She says, just take care of it. And everything's going to be all right. I heard the name of Florrie called out. Florrie.
Yeah,
You can take that. See if she'll give me some anniversaries quickly, so Geoff can get another one in. And she's talking to me. You see, there should be some anniversaries or birthdays in December. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine, because I seem to be working between the two of you at the moment. And I want to go to April and to July. There should be 2 birthdays in July. Yeah. Oh, I want to go around the... See, she's calling out like the 17th. There must be something around the 17th of July, darling. Look in your little book where you keep all the birthdays and anniversaries, and I'm sure you'll find that for me. Will you just take your mum's love? She says, I wasn't going to sit back and not get through this morning. She said, because she was battling her way through, and take all their love. Thank you very much.
I want to come to my lady with the lovely red hair. Hello. Because I've had a lovely lady with you, my darling, and I want to call her lady because I feel she was a very nice looking lady. I feel very much I'm on a mum vibration, and a lady who, like yourself, hair had to be nice, had to dress nicely, you know. She said, I'm not saying I wore the most expensive clothes in the world, but she wore clothes that she felt she looked good in. She looked nice in, you know. And she said I didn't care if it was the latest fashion. If it suited me and I felt good in it, that's what I wanted to do, you know. She liked her jewellery as well, but I think, you know, I'm not saying it was Cartier, it might have been, but it wasn't rubbish, if you understand. Certainly wasn't rubbish. She liked nice things, and she would rather have one nice thing than a lot of cheap things, if you understand. But I feel she liked to wear her earrings and necklace And I can see some pearls as well. She must have worn a pearl necklace and the pearl earrings to match. Yeah. She was a lovely, warm personality, darling. And I feel I've got a lady here who would chat with anybody. You know, she had a good mind and a good heart. And she, as long as she was happy and she made other people happy, that was all that mattered to her in life. And especially with her family. Cuddles, not afraid to give a cuddle, darling, you know. But at the same time, I've got quite a mind here. This lady was nobody's fool. Oh no, quite an intelligent lady. She knew what she wanted out of life and how to go about it. And she wanted to instill that into her children, you know. How to make their mind up which way they wanted to go in life. I like her. I like her very much indeed. Darling, I don't know, I've got somebody coming into me now that suffered with their breathing towards the latter part of their life. A gentleman, please. It's just trying to make... oh, take it away. Just trying to make me cough and to breathe deeply. Take it away now, please. Yeah, gentlemen, I feel a little bit taller than myself, please. Pulling my shoulders back again, a smart gentleman. Oh, yes, when this gentleman was dressed up, he was elegant. Elegant gentleman. Once again, intelligent gentleman. Intelligent. Now, I've also had somebody wearing an army uniform. I don't know if this was the same gentleman, but he just put an army uniform on me. Do you understand that? That's lovely, okay. But I feel very much with this gentleman, darling. I'm not a gentleman that goes out and digs a road. I'm a gentleman that had a very responsible job, if you understand me. I'm seeing a lot of paperwork and things like that around. I don't know if it's with him or with you, but he's put a lot of paperwork just in front of me. Now, just a moment. I feel with your mum, darling, the way she's making me feel, because I don't always hear spirit, I sense them most of the time. And I feel very much that she went rather quickly to the world of spirit. I don't feel that I suffered with sickness for years and years before I went away, if you understand me. She said I was very lucky in that way, that when I did go to spirit, I went down quite quickly and just went. But the gentleman, darling, I feel this gentleman was a good-looking, healthy man in his day, you know. But towards the latter part, hang on, I don't know why he's doing this to me, darling, but I don't know if he liked a cigarette in his younger days. Yes, because I don't smoke, never have done, but I know when they do that to me, that's what they're trying to tell me. But I feel towards the latter part of his life, darling, the breathing got a little bit heavy, if you understand me. And towards the latter part of his life, he went rather quickly to the world, because he said to me, I was here 1 minute, and woof, I was gone the next. Wonderful for him, not so wonderful for the people that love them. You know, although in a nice way, it is a good way to go, because he didn't have to suffer and suffer and suffer, you know. But he's very happy. But you sense spirit around you as well, he's telling me, very much, because they're both around you very, very much, in your home in particular, very much around you. Darling, just a moment, but once again, you see, they're putting their hand on here, and you must know the whereabouts of the gentleman's watch. Yes, and also, this gentleman liked, come on, tell me what it is. I like to wear cufflinks rather than the buttons. Do you understand? And there must, I don't know whether they're still around, but, and I know Mum's jewellery, you've got some of Mum's jewellery as well. Yes. And she said, I hope you wear it. She knows you won't want to necessarily wear it all the time, but, you know, wear it, and whoosh, you draw me so close to you. But you know that. I don't have to tell you that. She's happy with you as well at the moment. She said life is going very nicely for you at this moment, very happy, and she doesn't have any cause for worry around you whatsoever. Now, just a moment. Don't know what they're trying to tell me here. I've got, going back, I feel I'm going on a grandfatherly link, and I feel on the father's side of the family. But there must be, darling, some medals that you know the whereabouts or you've known of them going back in the family. You understand? Because they've just pinned me. I wonder what they were trying to do to me. Pinned medals on me. And so I don't know whether they're not telling me that you've got them necessarily, but you know the whereabouts of them. Brother. You've got a brother, yeah? Because I just heard brother. Include him in this, will you please? Yeah. I wasn't sure at first what they were saying in the world of spirits, but I know they just said brother in my ear very quickly. They want to just send love to brother. And they're not concerned about him at the moment either, darling. Although your dad is saying to him, just be a little careful. Don't do silly things and overdo it. Okay? See, they put my hand there again. You don't know if brother's suffering with the lower part of his spine, do you? Yes. He does, yeah, because you see, I know straightly when they do that what they mean. They just tell him to be very careful. Because, you know, like men, we all think it doesn't matter how old we get, we can still do it. Until something happens and then we realise we can't. I always say I don't run after people now, only if there's somebody behind me with a gun. That's the only time you'll see me running. But they're just bringing so much love to you. And if you can pass that on to your brother and say, the month, hang on, where are you taking me? I want to try to give you some anniversaries if I can. I'm coming to you with the month of December around you. There must be a birthday or an anniversary of some kind going back in the family, darling. Hold it, because there is, because I know they've said December to me, December. But I want to go to the beginning part of December. If you can look back, it's going back. It's not around at the moment. And also I want to take you to June, and I can take you to September, darling. September for an anniversary. So if you've got them, you'll find the December one. And I want to say, God bless you. And all that love is around you. But then I don't have to tell you, you know that. Ladies and gentlemen, can I thank you for your energy, because without that love and without that energy, it's impossible for us to work. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen. Few notices. Tomorrow night at 7:15 we offer spiritual healing with our team of healers registered here at Paul Church. Reminder for our registered healers, if you're here for 6:45, to sit in the power before we open the doors at 7:15. A reminder also that our Monday night healing nights are now fortnightly, because it didn't work twice a month, because some months are 5 weeks and some months are 4 weeks, and we all got horribly confused. So it's every fortnight from now on. Wednesday afternoon we are offering private sittings. There's a lady who's moved down to this area just before 2020 who was on her path of development. She's now picked that up again. She asked me the best way to improve her platform mediumship, and I said by giving privates that a great asset. So Hilary will be here. There are 3 slots left available, 3:30, 4 and 4:30. They are just for a donation to the church, but it's also helping Hilary on her progression within the movement. Wednesday night at 7 o'clock we have our Open Circle. Open Circle is by the very name open to all. It is not a development circle. You are not expected to perform or to do anything to impress anybody. You'll just simply sit within the power, guided meditation, share experiences if you wish afterwards, and maybe a little talk and discussion on some aspect of spiritualism. So that's this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Thursday, 11 till 4, we have our Holistic Health Day. We have Brian Walker, who's a spirit healer. His appointments have now all gone. But we also have a Reiki practitioner. The young lady does reflexology, and also a lady with a bioresonance screening, which is a machine that actually measures your minerals, your allergies, proteins within the body. It's not a diagnostic tool, but it will just give you some idea of what's going on in your body. I'm actually going to have a go on it. But if it says I've got to give up chocolate malt, I should decry it. But anyway, we run these once a month now, between 11 and 4. We've also got a young guy, Alex, who plays handpans just to create the mood and the atmosphere. So if you're in town, we'd love to see you. On Friday, between 11 and 2, we have our bereavement group. That's open to all who, wherever you are on that process of grieving. It can be recent, it can be a little time back, it doesn't matter. All right, you can just sit here within the church. We are led by a qualified counsellor, and it's just to talk, and it's sometimes nice if somebody says something and you think, oh, thank goodness for that, because that's how I felt. So it's just that nice, safe environment we run every month. So that's this Friday, 11 till 2. Next Sunday, 11 o'clock, we've got a right ropey old medium, Lawrence Saville. So, and I have a house rule, if there's less than 10, I don't have to do it. So that's next Sunday at 11 o'clock. Got a couple of trips coming up. Yay! Oh. They've just been cancelled. We're going to do a trip to the White Eagle Lodge in Liss. It's absolutely beautiful. If you're not familiar with it, please Google it. The White Eagle Lodge at Liss. It's an amazing sanctuary, been completely rebuilt during the time of the lockdowns. And it is, as we heard, some of the writings of White Eagle. So the Grace Cook family are very strongly associated with their beautiful temple, all about healing and astrology. They're very kindly offered to open up for us if we can raise a group of 16 people. So we're going to have a charabang of a 16-seater to go up there. That will probably be early May. What's the date? End of May. End of May. Somebody's volunteered to drive. Thanks, Ian. So that's at the end of the May. The price will be announced once we've sorted out the hire of that. We are also doing a trip to the Arthur Findlay College, which is up in Stansted. That is the home of the educational branch for the Spiritualist National Union. They have an open weekend. It's the first one since 2019, for obvious reasons. During the course of the day, there are 34 talks and demonstrations on within the college environment. It's an excellent opportunity. It doesn't matter if you're SNU, if you're not SNU, because do you know what? At the end of the day, we're all spiritualists. It's as simple as that. So we've got this coach trip. I will announce full details once I've got the final quote from the coach firm, and there'll be pick-up points here in Poole, at Bournemouth Railway Station, in Ringwood, and also at Southampton Railway Station. So those of you at home watching us online, please take note. As soon as I've got the prices, we can get the tickets out. And there's more, sorry about this. Saturday the 4th and the 5th of February, our church is having a stand at the Arts Centre Holistic Weekend. So if you do pop over, please pop over and have a chat with whoever's manning the stand at that time. Heather, Ian, you just volunteered. Oh yeah, Sonia. Well done. Right, you'll be glad to know that's the end of the notices. I will hand over to one of these wonderful gentlemen for a closing prayer. Thank you.
Divine Spirit, Creator of all life, we thank you for the love that is given so freely to each and every one of us. May we continue to seek the nectar of your love, your truth, your compassion, and your understanding, and take that out into our everyday lives, spreading it amongst all who we come into contact with. We thank those who came from the spirit world to bring those messages of love and upliftment, and ask that they be returned to their allotted places with our grateful thanks. We ask a blessing on the President, Committee, and the members of this church, that they may walk in your light and your love and continue to spread your message throughout their lives and throughout every day of each person's life. We leave ourselves in your care and keeping, asking this in your name, which is eternal and everlasting love. Amen.
Amen. Gentlemen, thank you. Beautifully executed
Thank
service.
you.
Absolutely lovely.
privilege.
Clear, precise, wonderful reading and address. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And beautiful communications. Thank you so much.
Thank you for chairing so beautifully.
Are
Yes.
you all right with people coming up and chatting with you? Yeah. If anybody would like to have a chat with the mediums, and especially those people who are new to us, remember what I always say, no question is daft if you don't know the answer. Please just come up and chat. These guys got a lot of knowledge there, a lot of history within our movement. Make use of it. In the meantime, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you to those beautiful people online watching us also today. Look after yourself. Look, it's fairly bright. It's not raining. Go out, enjoy life. Thank you. Like a cup of tea?
No, because we'll be having tea in our lunch when we